Toyota and Bet365.
We are so back, baby!
Oh, boy. Beer bat alert. Keep your reality spray ready, baby. The Cubs are over 500 for the first time this season. All right, we're going. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast, driven by Toyota. Let's go places and Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Use the code CHGO365 at sign up. How sweep it is. The Cubs with a sweep against the Athletics.
Let's go. 10-2. I love 3 non-stress win games. That's my big takeaway, that I didn't stress really at all the last 3 games. Man, what a feeling. What a feeling.
What an offense. We're so excited. We cut off the cold open. Not just the realities. We're just shutting it and going right to the show.
Yeah, my bad.
Shout out to Kevin for just
Kevin got a little excited. He got a twitchy finger.
Sometimes the cold open I thought was a couple seconds. It turned into 30, and I just, I cut it. That's production on the fly.
Well, it was probably too long of an open anyways. Cubs offense.
Wasn't long enough if you ask me. But
well, they were. Yes, we're going to talk about everything. Hi to everybody in the live YouTube chat, by the way. And if you're on the old CHGO Sports YouTube channel,
come here.
Jump on over. This is our 1-week anniversary. We are having the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. This is where we're going to be.
And we just hit 1,500 subscribers.
Yeah. So make sure you subscribe, by the way, because eventually we'll be going off the old channel. We're only going to be here.
Right. So if you're watching on the main channel right now, that CHGO Bulls is on.
You're living in the past.
You're living in the past. You gotta. There should be a link in that description on the old channel that will bring you here to where we are and where all the real sickos are.
That's right. If you're still on the old CHGO Sports YouTube page, you're living in the past, and Coach Dick always says that's for cowards and losers.
I will say, too, I'm seeing a lot of new names in here, so welcome.
There we go.
Welcome.
See, the band, plenty of room on the bandwagon.
Let's go.
So, yeah, we have a new YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out and subscribe while you're there. Cubs offense.
Bangs.
I don't even know what to say. 35 runs, 41 hits, and 8 homers in 3 games. I leaned over to Cody during this game and said, who are these guys? Where has this been for 3.5 years?
I know.
It's nice to see them pounding the baseball.
Yeah, and against pitchers that they should. You know how many times we've watched this team in the last handful of years where let's use Patrick Corbin as an example. You remember Patrick Corbin? He used to be, one of the better pitchers in the league, but then after the Nationals won the World Series, he really started to downturn, and he became one of the worst pitchers in the league. There have been a handful of times where the Chicago Cubs in this era of baseball, the last handful of years, where they did not hit him, and then the next start he would give up plenty of runs. So my point is that the Cubs went up against 3 pitchers that, in my opinion, they should at least score some runs off of. And not only did they score some runs, they scored a lot of runs. And it's
35.
I'm not going to expect this many runs every game, but it's encouraging to see this offense look as deep as it is right now from top to bottom. PCA, Matt Shaw in the bottom of your lineup doing what they did today on top of what they did in the series. Plus you have the 3 big bats at the top. There is no easy out in this lineup, at least in this series. Hopefully we continue to see it so I can say that fully with my chest. But in this series, there was no easy out. And you love to see it. It makes me happy.
35-9, Michael Evans says in the live YouTube chat. Listen, I don't math.
Me neither.
So if I'm wrong about the actual numbers, don't come after me. I don't care. All I know is in the last 5 games, they've averaged like 9 runs a game. It's somewhere close to that. That's incredible. So we want the offense. And Seiya, it just shows you that all the stuff that we were worried about, you got to take some time in baseball. That doesn't mean that all their problems are solved, right? What we saw in Japan is still part of history. It is still real as well. But for those that were worried about Seiya because he was off to a horrible start, including the games in Japan, take a break because he's blistering hot. 4 home runs in 4 games. And when he's hitting the ball, he's crushing the ball. Kyle Tucker, we were worried about him because he'd done nothing in the Cactus League. Okay, we've got a superstar on our team. So one thing this series has shown us is that at its peak, right now, the Cubs offense can compete.
Yeah. There's someone, I think it was Sam in the chat, said it's the A's. Sam D. And he says it's the A's. It's in a AAA stadium. I'm happy, but let's be cool. Well, to spin that, how many times have we watched the Cubs lose the teams they should beat?
Also, I'm not down. I'm just because of this series. I'm not down on the A's. I still think the A's could be a playoff team.
Yeah, same.
Fringe playoff team.
They won a series before this one, so and a AAA ballpark, same dimensions as the rest of the league too. So
Hoosiers. You're quoting Hoosiers.
I guess.
Basket's the same distance, the same
All
height.
I'm saying is if you want to look at it like that, you beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And when you look at the schedule in April, the Athletics were definitely a team on the schedule that you should beat. You should have at least win the series. Instead, they said, hold my beer, let's sweep. So I'm not sitting here saying that we're going to the World Series or whatever. However, for the next 24 hours, I reserve the right to dream about it a little bit.
Don't make me spray you again.
But I am saying that coming off that loss on Sunday where they blew it to sweep the A's, it's a sign of facing adversity and kind of bouncing back early in the season. Let's see what they do now after an off day, going back home to beautiful historic Wrigley Field and playing a really what's off to a hot start Padres team.
Craig Brindle says sign Tucker. Rinse and repeat on that.
You weren't really worried about Kyle Tucker after his slow spring training, were you?
I wasn't.
People were.
We weren't worried about Seiya either. We're just saying people were. If you listen to Cubs Twitter, it's a panic syndrome. It's all over the place. That's how we Cub baseball sometimes. I agree with what Sam is saying in the live YouTube chat. A lot of good things to see. When the offense works, you win games. But also, I like the way it happened. There were lots of home runs. I've been begging for home runs for 3 years here. Also, spread out throughout the offense. Top of the order, you had Tucker, you had Seiya, you had Happ getting the job done. Then in the middle, Dansby had some nice games. The bottom of the order was very productive at times.
Carson Kelly. Yeah.
The catchers.
He's looked great to start the year. I am over the moon impressed with Carson Kelly's plate approach. Yeah. He's looked awesome.
My bold prediction for the year, the Cubs will hit 200-plus homers. Off to a good start.
What was your wager on Seiya? Was Seiya 19.5?
19.5 on,
that's off to a
on
good
Bet
start.
365. I got a 19.5. He's got, 4?
He's got
4 homers.
He's got 4 already, yeah.
Him and
4
Tucker
in 4
both.
games.
Can he get there before the All-Star break?
Well, it's crazy how debilitating those obliques can be, man.
Yeah.
Shut him down for almost 2 months.
Right.
He's completely healthy, and he's showing it.
He might be
Looks
there by
great.
the end of the homestand. Wait, he's playing. Now get out the
He might be
get out
there
the
by
reality
the end of
spray for me.
April. Yeah. So, it's just there's nothing bad to take away from this. We didn't do post game last night, but last night it was 7-4 game, so it was a little bit closer, but you still felt comfortable. But we know how the bullpen has been early. Bullpen comes in, Hodge walks the leadoff hitter, but gets out of it, induces the double play ball, gets out of it. Not really a stressful game whenever you're up 3. Presley closes it out. It felt like in general, pretty comfortable win. And it took away a little bit of my anxiety. Today, again, you score a bunch of runs. Taillon gave up the homer, but a bounce back start for him after his start in Arizona and playing in a ballpark that feels like it's playing for offense.
Yeah.
I felt like he had a much better outing. And then the bullpen came in, despite the fact that it's 10-2, whatever. Pearson bounced back. Brad Keller had a nice outing, and even Eli Morgan, even though he gave up a couple hits, he didn't allow any runs, got out of the inning. I'm not saying they're back. I'm not saying the bullpen's better. All I'm saying is positive appearances for those guys, and confidence is a thing in this game. So,
excuse me.
All I'm saying is at least the bullpen, when you're up 8 runs, they could have easily just gave up some runs that didn't matter, but they didn't even do that. They did not give anything away in this series, in my opinion. So that's why, for me, I don't have any complaints about the series. I would love to have more of these.
About the series.
I would love to feel like this a lot more.
There's only one thing you could possibly complain about for this series. The games were too late and too long.
Yes.
That's it. But the results were great. And I think one thing that's impressive is, and I said this even after the first game of the series, listen, that might be the worst. That it's possible that last game against the Diamondbacks will be the worst game of the season. Actually, I hope it is. They could have 4 or 5 more of those, but it'll go down as one of the worst losses of the season. I can guarantee you that. And they came off of that and went to a minor league ballpark in Sacramento, opening day for the other team. And again, a team I still think could be a playoff team in the league. And I was looking at it and I thought, boy, this is a spot where I hope they don't let this snowball on them. You see that in baseball all the time. Team has a bad loss, and then that just propels them into 4 or 5 more. They're still thinking about it. It leads to more bad things. They cut it off. They flushed it. They're moving on, and they had 3 great games in Sacramento.
Yep. And now we go into an off day before the home opener at beautiful historic Wrigley Field. That's a good feeling, man.
Soak it in.
Soak it in. Savor it. Savor this feeling while you can, because I guarantee this weekend series at home is going to be a lot tougher. So, yeah, man, I'm just happy that they basically kind of salvaged that loss on Sunday and had a 5-2 road trip. If you just look at it from wins and losses, they had a 5-2 road trip. You take a 5-2 road trip every time. Now, Kevin had a great point on Sunday talking about, that loss to the Diamondbacks could haunt them in the long run when you talk about playoff positioning, wild card, whatever. And he's right about that. At the same time, though, it is early, and a 5-2 road trip is a 5-2 road trip. So
100%.
I in many ways you can say that sweeping the A's kind of salvages that loss to the Diamondbacks.
And what did Jed say 2 off seasons ago? Good teams blow teams out. Teams you're supposed to beat. Like Luke just said, this was a perfect series for them. They blew the crap off every single game. They blew the doors off the A's.
And I know they were home games in Tokyo, but in reality, for the rest of us, those were road games because you're watching. They're not at Wrigley Field, so they might as. I don't care what you want to call them. To me, they're road games. And I know in the schedule they count as home games, but for me, you just played the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, and the A's. I think all 3 could be in the postseason. I'll take 5-4.
Yeah.
Having played the first 9 games on the road away from Wrigley Field against 3 potentially playoff teams, almost certainly 2 in my eyes, I'll take 5-4.
Yeah. Yeah. 5-4 after the teams that they played is fine. And as we know, the schedule doesn't get any easier, but they're being battle tested here early. And I know a lot of people were concerned about the schedule. I've been embracing the schedule. Like, if we're going to be good, you got to beat good teams. And when you look at last year's team, if you just go up and down the schedule from last year, they did beat good teams, but they couldn't beat teams in their division. So I'm not saying I wasn't concerned or worried about the schedule in April, but I am saying that if you want to be a good baseball team, if you want to go to the playoffs, you got to beat these teams. So I'm excited to see what happens this weekend and moving forward, but you took care of a team that you're supposed to beat in dominating fashion, and that's my big takeaway from this series.
It's exciting times. We're going to keep the reality spray close by because Cody got awfully excited after 10 more runs, and I'm not kidding. And but we're gonna talk more about it here on the show, including the effort from Taillon today, which I think also was a step in the right direction. And I am curious as we get ready to talk about some of our great partners here at CHGO. You know what? How many games do you think they're going to win the next homestand here? You got the Padres and Rangers. Give me a number. What do you think in the live YouTube chat? But first, a word from our great sponsors. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensaries, your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. The one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has expertly curated menu that has over 100 strains to choose from, plus easy and online ordering and in-store pickup. Illinois, it's your favorite dispensary. Sunnyside, Wrigleyville, River North, in the suburbs, Champaign, South Beloit, and more. If you're starting out, Sunnyside has expert guidance for you. If you're a pro, they've got you covered with over 100 strains on the menu and new ones added daily. We know you're going to love Cresco and Florical's incredible quality and consistent products. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 and older or Illinois medical card holders.
Just like your favorite teams need a home court advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day, Luke. You can go to a big box store, but you might be talking to someone who was working in plumbing yesterday and selling sod the day before that and selling whatever else after that, right? Empire Today lives and breathes flooring, and they will be with you every step of the way. Their flooring experts bring showroom right to your home, get precise measurements taken, and have all your questions answered so there are no surprises. With Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing, plus you can schedule installation as soon as the next day. So schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code CHGO. Yes, you heard it right. A $350 discount with code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/CHGO for full details.
Cubs win 10-2, and you know what that means. Vibes are at an all-time high. Cub with us, and that means a Sam Adams American Light beer bat chug from Cody Delmendo.
Let's go.
So I know there's going to be a dedication coming. Just as you sit here and try to wager amongst yourselves, just for fun, of course, in this instance, in the live YouTube chat at the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel, which if you're not there, jump on over and subscribe. Cody has been very good this season. He's been better than even the Cubs, to be honest with you. He's had a 9.2 and like a 9.4, something like that. Mm-hmm. Anything under a 10.25 is what I consider a quality beer bat chug. I don't know if it's the Sam Adams American Light because it's lighter and it's not as, heavy as some other beers, but you've been awfully quick. So I see now people have adjusted to what they've seen early in the season, and the Pacoda projections are changing. Sean Caselli's calling for a 6.9.
He always says 6.9.
Gary Ross still going 10.23. Edwards calling under 10. Guerin under 10. Everybody's thinking under 10. So let me get my trusty stopwatch out.
It's interesting how this thing just has a mind of its own.
I was like, Kevin, I've been paying attention to Kevin trying to fix the clock.
Watch it, Kevin.
Good thing is that
Barb
most
wants
of
me to move my laptop. Maybe that's because she thinks that Cody might spit up during this. But he hasn't done that in a long time, Barb.
Why would we bring
that hasn't happened in a long time. So now remember, for those of you keeping track at home, or if you're doing one at the same time, feel free to tag us if you take a video and send it to us on social media.
Definitely retweet.
The timer does not officially start until the Sam Adams American Light hits his lips.
Unless you were watching the stream in which it started and stopped probably three times.
But
hey, we're at 0.
Ignore that and don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. Here it is. Dedication from Cody Delmendo.
Oh, dedication. We'll just give it to
Carson Kelly.
Well, we did a Carson Kelly cycle
already.
And I did that, yeah.
Okay.
I just want to give it to the entire offense.
Yeah.
Really. I'm just
Cubs offense.
Cubs offense. They all get it all. Let's go.
We go.
All right.
Sam Adams American Light. And boom, we are underway. Cody Delmendo, the Sam Adams American Light. Light beer just got better. Look at it going. I'm telling you, the beer is the difference. Look at the difference in Cody Delmendo and a 10.35 on my eyes. You have a 9.57. We'll split the difference on the two-timers and say third straight quality chug.
Yeah.
Third straight quality chug.
Nice job.
Cody
And
Delmendo.
only a couple drips on the sweatshirt. Not too bad.
It seemed pretty good. And that was an icy cold one, too.
It was. But you know how I always like to pour it into the cup because it's harder to do it when it's like ice cold.
Ice cold.
So you need a little, not room temperature, but just, let it sit
And
for a second.
Hawkeye, our newest subscriber, called it. He got it, I believe.
Hawkeye called it exactly.
He said 9-7, so
There it
it
is.
was 9-7 right here on the chat. So good job, Hawkeye. Nice job.
Nice.
Vanilla
Hawkeye.
Chill also says he called it.
Well, there were a couple
9-6.
different
Yeah,
numbers,
close
so
enough.
it depends on what you say.
Phil Rudder
Listen,
with a 9.69.
If you said under 10.25, you're a winner.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. You didn't go over, which, can't go over. You lose. You got to bet $1 sometimes. Have you noticed that it's out there now at some of these ballparks, they have the beer bet, but they have a stand.
Yeah.
I did see that.
It's like is it a base or is it just like the infield? And then you set the bat down in it.
I have a hot take about it.
Well, I have a hot take. Somebody out there in the live YouTube chat needs to buy you one.
Well, that's not my hot take.
Oh, okay.
My
What
hot
was your
take,
hot take?
my hot take is the exact opposite. I think it's soft.
You think it's soft?
Because why would I want to put it down? I want to hold it.
Clip that. Anyways, that's what he says.
Duly noted.
Matthew says, I'm a winner. Credit to me. Thank you.
Let's
I
go.
appreciate that.
Hey, Godfather, hooray. Cubs can beat bad pitching. Welcome to the chat.
There it is. It doesn't matter whether we were at the old CHGO Sports YouTube page or our new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. Godfather is still skeptical.
I think that's fair. We've played 9 games. I get it. But enjoy it when times are good. Would we be a little, I think we'd all be a little bit more angry if maybe they won the series yesterday, but then blew it today.
Yeah.
Say they had a lead and then blew it. But that
Couldn't
didn't happen.
finish the job like in
Right.
Arizona.
Right. Like, what if that happened? Or what if the offense did look bad against this pitching staff? All I'm saying is you went out to a team that I think is improved, you think is improved, and you dominated them because you're better than them. So we need to see more. I think there's fair reason to have skepticism considering the last 7 years of our lives, but I'm personally just enjoying the fact that we get to go into an off day with a series sweep. When was the last time we got to do that?
Feels like it hasn't happened in my life. That's how long ago it feels. Hey, in the live YouTube chat, I see a lot of people are in there. Make sure you hit the like button for us. We'd appreciate it. Let's talk about the pitching because Taillon was not great in his first start, right? Again, in the last game, he went 4 1/3, 6 innings, or 6 earned runs, 9 hits, 2 homers against the Diamondbacks. Today, against the A's, he bounces back 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, 94 pitches. If I have any complaint about today's start, it is again that the Cubs are still walking too many batters.
Yeah.
In general, the pitching staff is walking too many guys. Maybe it's just early in the season. I'll take that excuse, I guess. But it's something you don't want to see continue throughout the season. So, Steele and Taillon, to finish up this series, neither was good in their previous start. It's nice to see them both bounce back. And Steele doing it when I almost called Cody last night and said, we got a Steele problem. But I held off on it because I believe in Justin Steele. And he hadn't been great in the Cactus League and or Tokyo and beyond. He fought that out for 6+, and I was like, okay, they got something very valuable out of, and he's done that throughout his career, right? Where he doesn't necessarily have his best stuff, but he grinds it out, and somehow you're at the end, you're like, he kept us in this, and it was enough to hold on to win the game.
I thought
Steele and Taillon weren't perfect,
yeah.
but when the offense plays like that, you see what a difference it makes.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing, too. And I've talked about this a ton over the last couple years where the offense hasn't been good enough and it's forced the bullpen to be perfect. And so when you score 18, 7, and 10, you give your bullpen a little bit of breathing room. Now, what happened on Sunday, that's inexcusable. That's all on the bullpen, right? And I think every single guy in the bullpen would have told you that. But if you consistently are scoring a lot of runs like this, it does make it easier not only on your bullpen, but especially your starting pitching. So I thought Justin Steele was John Lester-esque last night because, early he didn't have his best stuff, and then he just kind of figured it out. I think he started implementing his other pitches. Cliff Floyd had great analysis related to how he was pitching or how he changed as the game progressed last night on Marquis postgame. And, I'm hoping that this might turn the corner for him. Early in the game last night, his fastball was hitting 89, 91. He needs to be closer between 92 and 94, right? So I don't know what was going on there, but he somehow, some way was able to get you 6 2/3. And listen, they got some good bats in this A's lineup. Butler, Brent Rooker. Langoliers, right? So it's not like he went up against it's not like he went up against a really bad lineup or anything. So my concern is the homers. I've said that consistently when we've talked about him. He gave up 2 more last night, so I want to see that go away, right? If I would much rather see him give up 4 or 5 runs on balls that are put in play but are able to field. Like the home run thing has not been him. The last 2.5 years, he has been someone who has kept the ball in the park. So, we'll see how he does next start, but I think he's going into it with a little bit of momentum. Taillon today, like you said, bounced back from the start in Arizona. He gave up the 1 home run to Brent Rooker, who's like the new, when we play the A's, it's like Eugenio
He hit him
Suarez.
against the Cubs last year, too.
Yeah, it's like, can we just not pitch to
Suarez,
Brent Rooker?
though, I don't need to see him ever again.
Did you see he hit a grand slam against the Yankees?
Yeah.
It's like, and did you see that he hit it off Mark Leiter Jr.?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that gets credit for one against the Cubs, I think.
Yeah, right. So Taillon, he just finds a way to eat innings for you. But I think for him especially, it's a pro when you score runs.
Yeah.
Right? So
it allows you to not worry about the bullpen as much. And so when we came off Arizona, first of all, the big story at the end of that when they blew the big lead late against the Diamondbacks in the 4th game was Merriweather had been up twice in back-to-back days, and that's why he wasn't available. So we've seen him now in this series multiple times, and you can see why people were saying, man, where's Merriweather? Why not bring in Merriweather? Because I believe right now Craig Counsell has a circle of trust in the bullpen. It's Merriweather, it's Hodge, and for better or for worse early on, it's Presley. I think he's earned that right. I think if today were a playoff game or tomorrow were a playoff game, those would be the 3 that Craig Counsell would want to go to kind of in order. Now, hopefully, other guys will emerge throughout the season. And that doesn't mean shove these 3 guys aside. It means work in coordination with these 3 guys so that you can handle rough stretches for one pitcher. So those things can happen. But right now, I think Counsell's decided, if I could finish a game, that would be the way I would go. I would go Merriweather, Hodge, Presley.
Yeah, Merriweather, and, it's good to see him get out there in this series, right? Because my big thing after the Arizona game was like, okay, he warmed up, but then didn't recover well. Okay, this guy's got a lot of injury problems, but when he pitched in this series, he looked great. So it more so gave me a sigh of relief, So Merriweather, Hodge, and even Presley, even though Presley's been a little rough around the edges so far, those are the guys I feel mostly fine. Hodge definitely has the most. I have the most confidence in. I thought Keller pitched well today. He's entered my version.
Gary said he's getting close to the circle of trust.
If it's my circle of trust, he's in there. So
all right. Well, who's your circle of trust? Tell us in the live YouTube chat as we discuss some of our great partners here at CHGO. Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. They have more than any other auto brand. The Chicago winter can be brutal, but Toyota helps make it easier, from the sleek Camrys all-wheel drive to the Corolla hybrid all-wheel drive. Toyota Tundra, the big truck known for its power, durability, and off-road capabilities, perfect for our winters and springs. Headed to a big game? Headed out on spring break? The spacious Grand Highlander's the perfect ride with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. They have more than any other auto brand, so you bring the action, Toyota brings the traction. Toyota, let's go places. Great time right now to become a CHGO diehard. Upgrade your fandom. Become one of the diehards and sickos. It comes with all the great perks, access to our exclusive written content, free t-shirt, plenty of discounts on the merch and events, plus access to the CHGO Discord Lounge, where you can either vibe with us or go through another therapy session if you need one of those two. Go to allchgo.com for the latest information on how you can join thousands of CHGO diehards in our community. We can't wait to connect with all the sickos out there on an even greater level.
I'll be in the Discord live chat, voice chat, on my drive home after the show, sometime within 30 minutes after the show. So for the diehards out there, just letting you know ahead of time. And we can talk about how awesome the team is, or if you have concerns, whatever. Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circus Sports Illinois. Circus Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circus Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game, Circus Sports has it. Fun to bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. We have March. We have the Final Four this weekend. We have baseball.
All the one
right
seeds.
now,
Scratch.
right? We still have NBA games to bet on, which I've had an incredible year doing so. And if you want to tail me on all my CJ Abrams bets, I bet him to hit a home run today, and he hit a home run again. It's 2 times I bet him to hit a homer, and he's hit a homer. I like to tell myself that perhaps maybe what I did last year in September kind of helped him. Anyway, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Very nice. We got a couple of promotions to tell you about. First, a new one, and then one that we're wrapping up today. The new one is the Ball Knower bonus.
Ball Knower.
So this goes kind of with the diehard thing. If you go right now to our merch store before the Friday 120 opener coming up this week, you go ahead and you buy some merch. Let's just pick out let's say you spend $72 on merch, okay? Then you get a chance through the link in the description to pick the winner or loser of that Friday 120 game, the home opener against the Padres. Are the Cubs going to win or are the Cubs going to lose? There'll be a link. It'll quickly take you right to it, and you'll see, okay, now this is what I have to do. Pick the winner and loser. If you pick correctly, we are going to give you a gift card, 100% equal amount of what you just spent. So if you spent $72 and you say Cubs win and the Cubs win, you're going to get a gift card for $72 to spend whenever you want on more merch in the merch shop. So it's a chance. You can gamble as much or as little as you want. If you want to spend $25, I think that's the number you have to get to for it to be active. If you spend $25, you can at least win $25 in a gift card back. If you lose, no big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
You could be like me and like want one of the shirts, one of the new shirts that are out there, but also like the pint glasses are awesome.
If you want to go crazy, you can spend like $200 in merch. Yeah. You might get a $200 gift card if you pick correctly. 50-50 shot. Yeah.
All I'm saying, I tweeted this earlier, Shota Imanaga, I believe, in line to pitch on Friday. So if you go and do it, and I know the Padres are hot, but one might say they're due for a loss. So
Padres 7-0.
And Shota Imanaga at home last year, pretty good. April weather.
Mm-hmm. Could be wind blowing in.
Home opener.
I'm not saying which way to pick it. By the way, the other one is a promotion we did for the Friday 120 Club. If you're subscribing, which we hope everyone will, and tell a friend, tell a relative, tell a neighbor about the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel that we have going. If you're not there right now, switch on over immediately. What we did was we said, hey, take a screen grab of your new subscription to the CHGO YouTube page, Cubs YouTube page, and add us on social media with it. That put people in a running for it, and today we did the drawing for who would win 2 tickets to the Friday 120 game against the Phillies on April 25th, and 2 of our Friday 120 shirts, and a hug from Cody and a hug from Bragg. So 2 tickets, 2 shirts, 2 hugs was the deal. And the winner is Curtis Arndt. Is on X or Twitter, however you want to say. I'm never going to call it X. Curtis, Kurtis, Arndt is the winner. 2 tickets to hang with us at the Friday 120 on April 25th. 2 of the Friday 120 shirts and a big bear hug from Greg Braggs and Cody Delmendo. So congratulations. And also, thanks for signing up, Curtis.
And since we did hit the 1,500 subscribers, we were able to release the other shirt.
And that's my favorite one. The last one's my favorite one, to be perfectly honest.
This might be our best collection of our
It's a good
3
4
years. This going into year 4. This is a good 4.
If you're in podcast form, don't feel left out. Just go to the YouTube channel and check out the whole show when it gets
Or just go
posted
to
there.
allcitystore.com and check it out. So
That hot dog shirt is awesome.
Yeah.
That is so Corey, but I'm still gonna get one.
It's also
I
making me
absolutely
hungry.
Love that.
I said when I saw that shirt, I can smell grilled onions on the shirt.
that is just such a cool shirt. I like them all. I really do.
I do too. I like the one on the left with the old scribe. I like the one that looks like the 1970s, 80s road jersey. That's, I believe, coming back for some specialty games this year, right? They're going to have the powder blues this year.
Are they?
I believe we're going to see powder blue this year.
We're not talking about the legendary alternates that came out.
The alternates, aren't they going to be powder blue?
They are powder blue.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
This
okay.
reminds me of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same, but it reminds me of it. All right, we're going to play a little game of buying and selling.
Ooh.
All right? First, we're just going to go around baseball because this is clear that what's buying. Buying is, today specifically, signing young players to long-term deals. Jackson Merrill, Ketel Marte, and Christian Campbell, all in the last 24 hours, signed to long-term deals by their team. I don't know if the Cubs are ready to do anything crazy like that, but that's something that you're starting to see around baseball. Now, I believe that big market teams shouldn't have to do that prematurely.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to rush to that. That's what the White Sox did, and that didn't pay off, and they got stuck with some deals. You also, the key to this, whenever you do it, if the Cubs were to do that, say with PCA or Matt Shaw or somebody in the next year and a half, okay? If you're going to do it, you have to know about the character of the player. Mm-hmm. You have to know what's going to happen to them and how they're going to treat their work ethic after they get their bag of money. Making that mistake is a critical mistake to any team that's trying to be budget friendly.
Yeah.
Or break even.
Sure.
If you will.
Yeah.
So that's just my thought on that.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say a team like the Red Sox, they don't
have to worry. They shouldn't have to worry about it. And I believe the Cubs should be in the Red Sox boat.
I totally agree.
They shouldn't have to be thinking about that until they absolutely know that that player is worth taking that gamble. And it's something that also benefits that player in that they need some money and they want to ensure
They
their
clearly
health.
love Campbell, though.
Yeah.
So
He got 8 for 60.
I'm not
Jackson Merrill's 9 for 135 and Ketel Marte 6 for 116, a $64 million in new money.
I get what you're saying about this is more of a small market thing. Like small market teams do this. Listen, the Royals gave Bobby Witt Jr. $300 million.
And I would do that because they know at this point, man, we've seen enough of this guy. Not only is he a superstar, we have to keep him in the organization. Our fans need to have him here, and he will work just as hard once we give him the money.
Sure.
The White Sox bet that on Moncada and found out he wouldn't work as hard for that money.
Well, I don't know how to – I think there's a lot of different things that happened in that scenario that I don't think you can necessarily predict. Him and Eloy Jimenez had injury problems.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. It's just the way the White Sox are organizationally during that time, they were unable to continue to develop talent. And then obviously they didn't necessarily help those players either by adding superstars or the big piece that they needed to via free agency, which is more on the owner than anything else. But you are correct. Moncada was a massive flop for them after 2019. Eloy Jimenez had injury problems, whatever. I will say, though, when you talk about these three guys, Merrill, Marte, and Campbell, Marte was an MVP candidate last year, and he's more so restructuring his contract while also getting an extension.
To me, he's proven it.
Right. Merrill was Rookie of the Year last year, and when we did our center fielder rankings, we put him number 1 in the National League.
He just looks too good to not take that gamble on.
Right. And then Campbell, now that's a lot like Jackson Chourio for the Brewers, who struggled the first half of last year, but then really took off after that and looked like a superstar in the making. And, for the Brewers, the reason they did that is, they know it's going to be hard to get him long-term after that. So they got him shored up now, and they're going to do whatever they can to try and win over the next however many years. But that's how I view this Campbell thing with the Red Sox. But the Red Sox are in a very interesting situation because they have one of the better farm systems in baseball, on top of having Rafael Devers, and they just extended Garrett Crochet, and they have Tanner Houck, and
Crochet's another one.
They are the Red Sox are in a winning window. I picked the Red Sox to go to the World Series this year to face the Dodgers, and they have a lot of young players that we don't really know what they will do, if they will be great, whatever. So I applaud the Red Sox for doing that.
And I'm not saying this is a bad move in the future for the Cubs. I'm just saying they're not there yet, and when you are there, you have to make the right decision.
Yeah.
It's a wise move for any organization, no matter how much money you have. It's a wise move if it's on the right guy at the right time.
So you don't think the Cubs are there with PCA yet? You would
No,
not,
I don't.
You wouldn't give PCA Jackson Chourio's deal? Because
No,
I would right now.
No, I wouldn't.
I would hand him that $82 million
No, I
right
wouldn't.
now.
And not because I think he won't have the drive. I think we've already seen that he's going to work so hard. From what everybody says around the organization, that part of it's not a concern. I just want to see the bat play for a bigger sample size than 2 months at the end of the season and the first couple games of this season. Listen, it could be mid-season. It could be the end of this season. That's still setting him up for the rest of his life if you want to try and do that. He also might be a guy that's so confident says, nah, I'm good.
Now, let's just use these guys we're talking about to compare it to Cubs players, right? Jackson Merrill, center fielder. So let's look at Crow-Armstrong. Jackson Merrill, I don't know if he started the year with the Padres, but he was called up pretty quickly, and he was, he was a 5-WAR player last year. He was great. Rookie. If he did, Skeens won Rookie of the Year, but he was second or third place.
He was in the running. Yeah, but
to me, it would have been him because I would have chosen a.
Craig Brindle disagrees with me. He'd give PCA that bag of cash, and Gary wants Matt Shaw to just get a barrel of cash already.
I wouldn't even think about it with PCA right now. I wouldn't even think about it. If he wanted to sign an $82 million deal,
you'd
8
say
years,
do
I would
it.
give it.
You're that confident.
So
$10 million a year for an elite center fielder, yeah. Defensive center fielder.
To finish my point,
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Spray me.
It's a reality spray.
I'm open.
I'll throw my tea at you.
With PCA, he got called up in late April last year because Bellinger got hurt, right? And let's just call a spade. He did not hit for 2.5, 3 months, right?
Correct.
Then he hit in August, hit like 350, something like that. I'm probably off on that a little bit, but he hit over 300 in the month of August. September, a lot of the same. Not necessarily that hot, but he performed in September. That's 2 months of hitting. He showed you the defense, the speed, the intangibles, the tools that he has, right? For everything all together, right? Merrill was awesome for a full year, basically, right? So I think that if it's not now for PCA, if he is everything that I sit in my apartment and dream about when he's stealing bags and hitting doubles down the left field line today and, throwing Josh Naylor out in Arizona a few days ago, like when he's doing all these things and I'm sitting here dreaming about things, you ask me in a year if he becomes a more consistent player and a more consistent bat, then yes, I'm thinking about a 9-year, $135 million deal for Crow-Armstrong. Matt Shaw, on the other hand, is kind of how I view this Campbell extension.
The 8 for 60.
Yeah. Matt Shaw,
to me, that's the more reasonable one of the bunch. But are you going to do it every time your top prospect comes up, or is he going to be special out of that group?
Well, they clearly love Matt Shaw.
I like Matt Shaw early on too. I'm just saying I don't know why we have to panic 9 games into the season to sign him to the deal.
Well,
I just think I could wait at least 200 games.
Right. But I'm saying that if you were going to do something like a Christian Campbell with what the Red Sox did, Matt Shaw is the guy that I feel most comfortable with. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they should do it. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do it.
Let's not forget.
Matt Shaw, I mean, I know Matt Shaw has had some at-bats where it's like he looks young and inexperienced and he needs more at-bats. But he also had 2 hits today and a couple RBIs, and you've seen the defense be pretty solid. I know he had an error early in the game, but we've also seen some nice plays, and he has speed, and I think he's displayed a lot of what we all think that he can be. Has he even touched what we think he can be? No.
Gary says money goes up if you wait 200 games. That might be true, but that's my point. They're the Cubs. They're not the Brewers.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
They're not these other teams. They can afford to at least wait for the insurance of at least 200 games to see what's going on. Sure. Injuries and that stuff, you can't worry about it. But I don't see why you would have to rush into it before you even have seen the guy have real success for 2 months.
When you use the White Sox core as a way to debunk this idea, you cannot predict injuries. That's all I'm saying.
No, but you should be you need to be able to predict if a guy's going to quit.
How about
if a guy's going to quit working on his craft, that's what you need to know, and you better know that before you start handing out big contracts.
I think there's a lot more to that situation with the White Sox than you know. And when you're talking about working, I know you're talking about Yoan Moncada, but I also know that if you go look at his baseball card, it wasn't just 2019. He was also a full WAR player in 2021.
I think people were mad in the White Sox too that Eloy wasn't coming in and doing enough work, even though injuries was a big part of it. They were also concerned that he wasn't coming in and working hard enough to do the things he needed to do.
Maybe you know more than I do then in terms of in the know. But when I think of that situation, I'm thinking more about injuries really derailing. But I also think at the same time, if they would have just signed Harper or Machado at the time when they're supposed to be entering their winning window, things probably go a little bit differently.
New podcast. New podcast.
Well, you say the White Sox, I raise you the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, sure.
That's fair.
Who signed up?
That's fair.
Who signed their superstars? Ronald Acuna is the most bargain-friendly contract in the entire league right now. Same with Ozzie Albies. So it can work in either way. You're right.
It can work both ways. I'm saying at
Austin
the
Riley.
right time with the right player, it can be great to the organization. I just don't see a super rush just right now. As for selling, what I'm selling is the A's in Sacramento. We have 3 years of this. It was cute to me, the first game. It seemed like high energy. It was a lot of fun. It was like, but even then we were like, are they really going to do this Ricky Henderson thing in Sacramento? They have no choice. Then they got 9,300 fans today for opening series against the Cubs. How bad is their attendance going to be this year? Bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Well, I'm also curious of how much that ballpark even holds to begin with.
Well, and the players are having to, if they got to go to the bathroom during the game, Seiya Suzuki's running out to the outfield with a trainer, presumably to probably go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think Pat Hughes said 15,000 on the radio broadcast the other night, in between 13,500 and 15,000 seats.
We did just watch a game that was on a Wednesday during the day.
It's a day game, but it's early in the season, and if you're living in Sacramento and you haven't had Major League Baseball there before, you could at least sell out the opening series. They only sold out the first game.
Yeah.
They didn't sell out the next 2 games.
Did you ever look at the stands at the Coliseum in the last
Sure,
year or two?
That's fair. That's
remember when
I'm
the Cubs
saying
were
these people should all be Sacramento people, right?
Yeah.
My guess is, and then you still have some fans that are coming from Oakland or wherever, but
right. Yeah, I mean, the situation with the A's is, like I said this on Monday, like it's an embarrassing situation, to be honest with you. Like it's bad for baseball. As much as me and you joked in some ways that the A's and the Rays making the playoffs would be hilarious. Baseball is absolutely not cheering for that in October. Baseball wants everyone to kind of forget that they're playing in a AAA ballpark in a spring training complex, like MLB does.
Kevin, do we need to take another break? We need to take the 45. Did I miss that already?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and take that.
All
Yeah,
right,
we're at
a quick break,
before,
and we'll be right back. We're going to talk more about Cubs baseball and what's coming ahead here against the Padres. But first, I have a tough time tracking where my money goes, and I know I'm not alone. I know you're out there. Everybody knows it. Those financial blind spots, all the deliveries coming to the door, the online shopping out there, the car rides you're sharing. Finances can be messy and confusing. Monarch Money acts like your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control so you can stop earning and start growing. It's more than your average budgeting app. Monarch Money is a complete financial command center for your accounts, your investments, and your goals. Don't just manage your money. Start building wealth with 50% off your first year for our listeners. I want to save some money for my kids' college. I want to save money for my retirement. Both are insanely expensive. With all your accounts, credit cards, and investments in one place, you know where your money stands without the hassle. Named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app in 2025. So get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use the code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code CHGO.
David in the chat says he's a Sacramento resident and went to the game last night, said it's a AAA environment. But you know how he got his ticket to go, Luke?
Game time.
Absolutely, he did. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story if it wasn't, David, okay? Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices in the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to kickoff or first pitch or tip-off, whatever off you can think of, right? Mm-hmm. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. I say this all the time. I get on the red line at Argyle, get off at Addison, and then I open up the Game Time app, and that is exactly what I will be doing on Friday for the very first Friday 120 Club. I'll be at Murphy's bright and early, 7, 8 a.m., somewhere in that range. I think that's when they're opening. And at some point, I'm going to be opening up Game Time, and I'll be buying my tickets right before first pitch, okay? Because that's when you get the best value. And I'll be doing that all season long. Some of the things that I love about Game Time, though, outside of the fact that you get the best value right before first pitch, is, you know, when you save the 60% off by buying last minute for all these different events, they also have zone deals. So you save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats. All right, they have all-in pricing. Toggling that feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. No one hates a bait and switch more than me and Luke Stuckmeyer. All right. Game Time.
Can't stand a bait and switch.
Game Time doesn't do that to you, okay? They have seat views. You get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. And we know how there's poles at Wrigley Field, and it can be a little tricky sometimes, right? Unless you're sitting in the bleachers with me and Greg Braggs in 504 in left field, right? Mm-hmm. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
We're so close to 100 likes. We're at 83.
83.
I wonder how many subscribers we're at. Now, you said we're over 1,500.
We've gotten at least 3 or 4 more from people in the chat.
Just in the chat today.
Yeah.
You got to tell somebody you know. And again, if you're on the main CHGO Sports YouTube channel, make sure you flip on over and subscribe because we're not going to be there for a long time.
I know
Eventually,
David,
we'll just be right here.
David, Hawkeye, and 2 Davids and a Hawkeye both subscribed.
Two Davids and a Hawkeye walk into a bar.
And share.
Walk into the CHGO Cubs YouTube channel.
And share.
One says to the other.
And share a Sam Light beer. Now that's
Sam Adams American Light.
That's the best.
So we were buying, selling around Major League Baseball. I'm selling the A's in Sacramento for 3 more years. What about buying on the Cubs? What are you buying?
I'm buying Kyle Tucker. I'm buying Kyle Tucker, right? That's the easiest buy on the Chicago Cubs right now. How about something that's maybe some people might still have some skepticism? How about Cubs catchers?
They've been spectacular.
Right?
Yeah.
Marquee showed a graphic last night on their postgame. Cubs catchers, the tandem between Kelly and Amaya, rank number 1 in multiple offensive categories. And then on top of it, we haven't seen them throw any runners out yet, but we haven't seen runners on the bases take advantage of them either. I think there's some credit that goes to them, because that was a big problem beginning of last year, right?
Definitely.
On top of the fact that they weren't hitting. So you're getting a really solid, you're getting better than what I expected offensively. And I think defensively, they're helping a lot of the starting pitchers.
There was a point last year where it felt like every team was just going to run the Cubs into the ground.
Yeah.
On the base paths. And that's not happening this year.
We haven't seen it. So, it's 9 games. I get it. But all I'm saying is right now, I was actually kind of bullish coming into the season on the Cubs catchers. I didn't expect this, but I'm buying stock now because I think it'll be more expensive down the road.
Don't make me reality spray you.
It's just
Don't
nice
get
to
too
get
crazy.
It's nice to get veteran at bats from a backup catcher, man. He takes his walks. He gets on base when he needs to.
He hits for the cycle.
That helps. Hits for power. That helps.
Well, he had a 99 WRC plus last year, I believe, and for a catcher, that's actually really good. But you're right. Yeah, he walked today. I don't have his stat line in my head. But
last Cubs catcher to hit for the cycle, most recent one since 1966.
Yeah.
Jody Davis wasn't hitting for the cycle. No, he was not. David Ross was not hitting for the cycle. No, he was not.
5 hits and 3 walks on the season for Carson Kelly so far in 4 games. Pretty good.
Can we talk about Justin Turner for a second?
As for buying, you're buying something?
Yeah, I'll buy on Justin Turner.
I was going to say Seiya's what I'm. That's what I'm.
Well, yeah,
Seiya as a DH is what I'm buying, because all the people that were worried about he doesn't want to play DH, it's going to impact his hitting. No. Now we've seen the sample size of at the end of last season DH, and he was very productive as a hitter. And now we've seen these first, 9 games specifically this series where he's looked pretty good as a DH hitting. Okay, yes, Justin Turner, you're buying.
Seiya, you're right. Just my 2 cents on Seiya is the first homer he hit today, 89-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle. Yeah. A player of his caliber, I would have been a little disappointed if he didn't hit it out of the park.
He had it for lunch.
You know what I mean? And the nuke he hit last night off the batter's eye, that ball would have gone even further if that thing wasn't there. So we all know that when he hits the ball, he hits it hard. But he can get a little streaky. Some of his strikeouts look bad sometimes. We know how the umpire likes to screw him a lot, right? This series was awesome, and that homer in Arizona seemed to get him going. So this team, this offense, there will be consistency within it throughout the season if him and Kyle Tucker together are producing. So what I was going to say about Justin Turner, last night he had an RBI single for an insurance run late in the game, and today he didn't have a hit. He had 2 walks, though, right, and a run scored. I just think that he's going to be able to provide something for this offense that it's not that I think people are going to, I don't know, not appreciate it or whatever. Like, I think everyone kind of understands what Justin Turner is at this point in his career. But for what he can control, I think that he's going to give the Cubs more than I think what when he got signed, we were like, veteran, 40 years old.
He could, dare I say, exceed your projections?
I'm not saying exceed projections.
Just a little bit.
I just think that he could perhaps be a better piece than what I'm saying. I don't know if he'll, quote unquote, exceed Zips or Fangraphs projections.
Okay.
It's just more about, like, when he came into the game the other night, it was the perfect scenario to bring him in because it was a left-handed pitcher on the mound, and Michael Busch was in the lineup. Now, Michael Busch didn't he hit a homer in that game? Or was that the game before? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
There were so many homers, 8 in this series that I forget.
Right? But it was a situation the Cubs were up by 2 runs. You're late in the game. We know how this bullpen is. What's Craig Counsell do? He brings in Justin Turner, a right-handed hitter, who has been in those situations plenty of times and knows how to put the bat on the ball, makes great contact, and has been doing it for a really long time. And what's he do? He hits a hard ball up the middle. And I just think when you think about situational hitting, he maybe at the end of the year, we could be arguing that he is one of the best situational hitters on the team, if not the best. So I know he's 40, and I think his value in the role that he is in is the best value you're going to get. He is not a guy that we should be playing every day. He is not a guy that I think will help this team take it to another level. But I do think in the role that he is in, it is the perfect role for him to still show that he has, or to still show that he is a really good baseball player at 40 years old.
He still has value at 40. It's just not the value of what he was when he was the Dodgers, but that's not what the Cubs are paying him.
No.
Or
exactly.
asking him to do.
Right. So I think if you're kind of whatever about Justin Turner, I think that's how fans are right now. They're just kind of whatever. Like, don't take these last two games for granted. He got a RBI single for an insurance run and then 2 walks today, scored a run. He makes pitchers throw pitches. I think that there is a ton of value in a guy like that, especially if on days you are going to start him, going to put him in the 4-hole. So
while we're at it, while we're respecting elders, not one of my elders, but elders for a lot of people out there, shout out to Kyle Hendricks.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to him for
first start for the Angels.
Shoving it against the Cardinals yesterday. Had him under 2.5.
Sean, I was not in the bleachers when Babe Ruth called his shot. That is not fair and not nice. That is not respecting your elders.
Did Sean Caselli say that?
He just said it at the very bottom. That hurts.
I'm expecting to see him on Friday at the Friday 120 Club.
What jersey will Sean Caselli be wearing at the Friday 120 Club?
I'm hoping it's just one that I've never seen him have.
I think he has a Farnsworth. We've seen the Farnsworth, haven't we?
He wore a Mark Grzelcyk one time.
Grzelcyk, that's
Cam Smith, Iowa Cubs jersey.
Oh, no.
Swear jar.
Nope.
Swear jar.
Where is it? Where is it?
Swear jar.
So
we hit 100 likes.
Oh, we did.
Thanks.
Nice job, guys. Shout out. Now
Let's
go
go.
subscribe to the new YouTube channel, please.
If you haven't.
Hey, real quick with the Padres coming up, they won, correct? 7-0. Padres.
They were up when we came into.
Let me look. Let me make sure. The Padres win. Padres.
They won 5-2.
Yeah, Padres are 7-0. Braves and Guardians. Listen, this team's going to be good. That division
very good.
Is outrageous.
But
the NL West is outrageous. But the Padres, man, I feel like they had a shot against the Dodgers last year. This is a team to watch. The good news for the Cubs is no Darvish, no Cease, no King.
Yep. That's the good news.
You are catching them at the luckiest spot in their rotation.
Absolutely.
Especially if the wind is blowing in, because we know Wrigley can,
according to Jed Hoyer,
change the offense.
I'm more happy about not having to face Cease because you know how he gets up for a revenge game.
Yeah.
You know?
That and he's just one of the best pitchers in the league.
But I do like to get a chance to see potential Cubs at the end of the season. Yeah. So, in that way, maybe he's going to soak it in.
How many minutes do we have left, Kevin?
We are over an hour now.
Oh, we're good.
Well, I don't want to give too much away. We'll have a preview up on the channel tomorrow. It won't be live, but we'll have a preview up.
Yeah, we'll have a series preview. Make sure, again, tomorrow's an off day. Brendan and Corey will have a podcast for you as well coming up.
Live tomorrow.
Make sure you subscribe to the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel if you have not already. Flip on over there. Go ahead, subscribe, and tell somebody about it. We need you to tell somebody about it. And then when you're on there, go check out some of the videos. We're putting lots of fresh content on there that you're not seeing other places and that you wouldn't have seen when we were on the CHGO Sports YouTube channel because it was getting buried underneath all the great Bear stuff that we have there. So that's the hope. And that's why we're doing it for you guys so that you can see the stuff and have more fun with it.
Tomorrow, Barb, Brendan and Corey will be live at 7 p.m. Central Time.
And we will post a preview on the YouTube channel.
As well.
And then also, don't forget, Friday 120 Club, buy your bleacher seats. If you can get your bleacher seats, then you we're meeting at Murphy's again, right? Before the game?
Yes.
Meet at Murphy's before the game, hang out, everybody goes over and sits, and I think My Thai Guy is going to save some seats for us.
I haven't talked to him, but he just always kind of does. So
well, we better reach out to My Thai Guy. Bleacher Jeff will be there. Where everybody's going to be in the same spot. Braggs, we're going to get him some sort of wheelchair access. Or we've thought about carrying him on our shoulders.
I'll carry him to 504. It's fine.
Carry him down, set him down, and just leave him there. And, it's going to be a good time. Bring your Friday 120 shirts.
Yeah.
Right?
I will. Sean says, see you at Murphy's at 7 a.m., Luke.
7 a.m.
We're going to be doing
We're going to be doing a post-game show on Friday, though, too.
Yes.
That it's going to be a remote post-game show, but we are going to do a post-game show live sometime after the game, probably 4 whatever time the game gets over.
Right.
Just hoping for decent weather. I think it's like 48 or 50 something they're saying
Between
now.
45 and 50 degrees.
A little cloudy.
Yeah, but that's not as far as home openers go. As long as the snowflakes aren't flying, you're not doing too bad at Wrigley Field. Yeah. And the vibes will keep you warm with the Friday 120 Club. Cubs win 10-2. They sweep the A's. They are over 500 for the first time this season.
Let's go.
Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you Friday. And until then, fly the W.